Oh my gosh, it's so good. Hello, good morning. Welcome to another reading vlog. It is Monday, it is a new week. This week I am going to be split between being in my flat here and being back at my family home because I have to look after my sister on Tuesday, tomorrow, and then I'm going to be staying for a couple of days because I have a couple of other things happening over there. So I'm going to be splitting this up a little bit, but I have two-ish reading goals for the week. I am still taking part in Whateverthon this month. It's a readathon hosted by Maddie from Book Browsing Blog, and it takes place over the whole of June. I am one of the team captains for Team Sunset Scholars, so I will be reading books hopefully that help towards my prompts for that this week as well as the rest of the month. So the book I'm entering the week reading is Glorious Poison. This is Kat Dunn's latest book. I'm 20% through, so I'm hoping to read quite a lot more of that tonight because I will be on Patreon sprints later, so I'm going to be reading for about 3 hours later this evening, so hopefully we'll be able to get a good chunk of that read, because then I'm going to be starting Babel by R.F. Kuang. I am so excited for this. This is one of my most anticipated releases, if not my most anticipated release of the year. Very, very hyped for this book. I have very high expectations, which naturally makes me quite scared to read it because I'm gonna be putting it up against all of these high standards that I've already set for it in my head based on how much I enjoyed the Poppy War trilogy. So this is gonna be what I read after Glorious Poison. Glorious Poison is also quite a highly anticipated release for me. It's the third book in the Dangerous Remedy series and I love that series so much. So both books this week are ones that I've been really looking forward to coming out. This one, I feel like this is going to be a momentous moment to start it because I'm just so excited. So this will be coming back to my family home with me. I'm kind of hoping maybe I could finish Glorious Poison before I go back tomorrow night, but I don't know if that's going to be feasible or not. It depends how much I read on Patreon sprints tonight. So those are my reading plans. As I said, going back to my family home tomorrow night. I don't have anything big or grand planned for the rest of the week, but I will take you along on the week with me. Welcome to the reading vlog. Hello, it is after work on Monday and I have had some book mail that I wanted to show you. So first off, I opened up this package and there was a load of little leaflets and little cards in it. So these are all advertising different events. So we have Mansion of the Macabre, we have Halloween Carnival, and there's also little business card type things here advertising different shops. So this is very cool, and this is all leading towards the arc that I have here. This is a second book in a series. I absolutely loved the first one, so I'm very excited to be able to get an early copy of the second one and join these characters again because it was so much fun the first time. So the book is Mina and the Slayers by Amy McCall. This is the sequel to Mina and the Undead, which follows Mina, who has come to stay with her sister in New Orleans in the 90s, and there's a little bit of a vampire problem. So this book takes off after the events of the first book. I'm not going to go into the details of the blurb of this book because I don't want to spoil the first one, but it's such a fun series. I love Amy McCall's writing. I love the characters in this book. I love the New Orleans setting. It's so interesting to read about. I cannot wait to read this one, so thank you so much to Amy and the publishers for sending me through an early copy of this. It's going right on my TBR pile. I have so many books I'm really excited to read at the moment and not enough time to read them all. Yalk is fast approaching, where I usually acquire a hell of a lot more books as well, so generally I need to get reading, which is what I'm doing tonight. I'm on Patreon sprints tonight. If you are ever interested in joining these sprints, they are always available to all tiers. It is linked down below. There's lots of different extra things you can get on my Patreon as well, but I do weekly sprints as part of it all for everybody. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I'm gonna go put my dinner in the oven and watch a bit of How I Met Your Mother and then kick off the sprints. I also got this in the package that I forgot to say. It's a pencil that says emergency steak on it, which I very much enjoy. Hello, it is Tuesday afternoon and I am nearly finished reading Queenie. I've been listening to the audiobook throughout the day for this and I have this much left and I love this book. This is one that has constantly been on TBRs or in videos saying I would like to read this book, especially over the summertime, and I just don't know why I have never picked it up, and it's so good. The audiobook is fantastic. The narrator does such good jobs bringing each of these characters to life with different voices for each character, which I absolutely love. It just makes it feel really brilliant as a listening experience, and I just really enjoy the story as well. Definitely want to praise this book for so many different things. At the moment, one of the big plot points is talking about mental health, and this book just talks so openly and honestly about both sides of mental health, of like experiencing the ups and downs that your mental health can bring about, and also of seeking help and the resistance you might feel doing that. And I think it's just raising some really important conversations in general, this book. So yeah, really enjoying Queenie. I'm also still reading Glorious Poison by Kat Dunn. I think I'll probably finish that later today, reading that on Kindle, but my physical copy did arrive today. It's very pretty. Hang on, let me show you. Here's the physical copy. It's very pretty. I love it against all the others. Hang on. Here they all are together. I love the colour choices with these ones. I think my favourite is the red in terms of cover colour, but I like them. They're very pretty. So thank you to the publishers, Head of Zeus, for sending me through a finished copy of that. Super excited to finish it. Still really enjoying it. I feel like it's going to be between a 4 to 5 star. I don't know. It depends the direction the ending takes, but I absolutely adore Kat Dunn's writing style. So yeah, both books I'm reading at the moment, really enjoying. I had to sort out my TBR a little bit last night because on my Patreon sprints, I was trying to work out what whatever-a-thon prompts I still needed to hit to get the full bingo board complete. I don't think I've even had one bingo yet, so I need to try and make that happen. And I was just trying to work out which books would equal the best amount of prompts. So what I'm actually going to be doing is my next audiobook after I finish Queenie is going to be, is it called The Psalm for the Wild Built? Is that what it's called? I'll put a cover up here. I can't remember the exact name of it, but this is under Host Fave for Maddie's Host Fave. It also, I've been told by Maddie, has a kind of theme of academia in terms of the characters teaching each other things running through it, so that's really good because that's also one of the prompts I haven't hit yet. And then I've also got Wind Book 2, which has, oh, what's the name of it? The name is something like Book 2 and then it's the something something something. I can't remember. This is not the best update of what I'm going to be reading next, but Wind is a graphic novel series. I absolutely love the first one. It takes place in a fantasy world, so I'm using this to fulfill the 2 prompts I'm struggling most with. One is dragons. Now I don't know if there's going to be dragons in this book or not, but there are a lot of fantasy creatures within this book, so I'm hoping that there are dragons. And if there's not dragons, Maddie had said if you read a book thinking there's going to be this in it and it doesn't have it in, still count it, because obviously you don't necessarily know what the book is going to have, so that's going to be fitting dragons. The other prompt it's going to be hitting is last letter, first letter. So when the last letter of the book you just finished is the same as the first letter in the book you're about to read. So for me that will be the T from Psalm for the Wild Built, Psalm of the Wild, but I need to remember what that name is. That'll be the T from that, going for the T in the for book 2 of Wind. I can't remember the name for that one either, but it definitely starts with the. So I'm gonna marry those 2 up there, and then once I've done that I've completed a bingo board, and then I will be reading Babel. So I'm bringing that back with me. I'm going back to my family home today. My mum and stepdad are off to see Queen tonight, so I'm looking after my sister. It's very warm outside as well, so I'm quite looking forward to being back at their house because they have the swinging bench. I'm going to be there for the rest of the week because it's Ava's birthday next week on Monday, and we're doing something for her birthday on Saturday, so I'm just going to stay down there. I've got Babel with me. The other 2 books I've mentioned are quite short, and one being a graphic novel obviously means they're going to be quite quick to read, so I will be hopefully able to start Babel within the next few days if I finish Queenie today, which I think I definitely will because I have an hour drive back, and that's like just over how much I've got left in the audiobook. So I'll let you know my thoughts on all those books as I finish them. Hopefully, all goes to plan, I should be finishing 4 books this week. Hello, I'm back at my family home. It is Tuesday evening. Ava is in bed. Pippin and I are downstairs chilling. Well, I feel like Pippin wants to go, but I'm gonna read a little, I'm gonna watch a bit of TV. I have reading updates because I finished Queenie on the journey over here, and it was so good. I absolutely loved it. I think it's gonna come out as around 4.5 stars on Corepile. I need to actually sit down and review like the last 3 or 4 books I've read because I keep forgetting, so I need to do that. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to come out definitely in between a 4 and 5 star review because it was just so good. I absolutely adored it. I really loved the characters in this book. I loved the way that the narrator brought them to life and gave them different characterizations and personalities in the way that they narrated them. It was just such a brilliant way to read the book, and I definitely would advise this audiobook. There is conversations through texting and things that are in the book that it was probably more effective to read as a physical book, but it did work well as an audiobook as well, those certain chapters and scenes. But I personally didn't have any issue following the fact that we were switching between the texting and things. Obviously just when it's in print you can see the format change, so it's a little bit clearer, whereas when it was as an audiobook it took me a second to click that's where we were going. But once we were there it worked really well, and if anything added to the digital feel of it when there was texting conversations, I suppose. Also, I know I've spoken already about the fact that mental health is a big theme throughout this, but I think that it was so importantly discussed in the way that Queenie goes through her own mental health journey and the changes she goes through and the help that she seeks and the very low points for her as well. I just think generally it talks very openly and honestly about things, and that is really valuable in books like this, and I think that it can help make people feel like they're less alone in those situations themselves when they're reading the book, which I think is always going to be absolutely fantastic. Oh, bye Pippin. He's left my lap. I'm definitely keen to look at more books by this author. I just enjoyed that whole reading experience, and yeah, I'm glad that I finally read Queenie, because as I said, I've been putting it on TBRs and recommendations videos for so long and almost putting a pressure on myself to read it because I had these high expectations of it and didn't want them to be ruined because I set too high an expectation. But this is an example of where the hype most definitely lives up for this book. So yeah, definitely would recommend that. I am also still reading Glorious Poison by Kat Dunn, 74% of the way through. Apparently I have 57 minutes left according to the Kindle read time, so I definitely hope to finish that tonight and then start the other two books that I spoke about earlier as part of my remaining Whatever-a-thon TBR for the first bingo board completion. So I am back at my family home for the whole of this week, and usually when I'm here I do read less because I sit with my family more in the evenings than I do sit and read. However, because the two books that I have next up on my TBR, one's a short audiobook and one's a graphic novel, I feel like I should hopefully be able to read those within the week and then be able to start Babel within this week as well. So all goes to plan. That should be my reading for the rest of the week, but who knows. Also, it's very sunny this week, which is always good weather for me to read in. So generally it's looking good. Hopefully I can complete my first bingo board this week. Also, if anyone saw this and wondered what this was, I have a support bandage on my wrist at the moment. I don't know if these actually do anything, but Ava went and found it for me because I broke my wrist years and years and years ago when I was a young child, and sometimes it still hurts occasionally for absolutely no reason. And when I was driving over here, every time I changed the gear, it really hurt my wrist. And generally it's just been hurting ever since. So Ava got me the support bandage to wear. No idea if it's doing anything, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, just in case you saw that in the shop, it's not some kind of funky singular sleeve. It is just this to hopefully stop my wrist from hurting me. So yeah. Hey, I'm sat outside with company. Pippin's chilling in the shade. It is really nice weather today, so I'm sat outside working, which is very, very welcome. Last night I finished Glorious Poison. I haven't ran it through Corpal yet, what's new, but I think it's going to be around a 4 to 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good conclusion. I didn't know where it was heading. It had me on the edge of my seat feeling all the emotions. So yeah, really, really good series. And that also means today I can start Babel. I'm going to start it on my lunch break. I am so excited. I cannot wait. I also very briefly this morning started the Psalm for the Wild Built, which I still am not 100% sure if that's the actual name or if I'm saying random words in an order and they're not correct, but hang on, I can just check. Okay, it's a Psalm for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers, right? That is the name of the book. I'm going to try and remember that. But I very, very briefly started that this morning. Haven't really had much of a chance to get into it yet and establish what it's actually about, but I'm excited for that one as well. So far, for a Wednesday, I think it's a Wednesday, I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday, it's a good reading week so far. I'm just buzzing to start Babel, so very, very, very excited about that, and I will of course let you know my thoughts when I do start it, but I'm so sure I'm gonna love it. It's got so many things in it that I'm so excited to read. In a bit of shade. morning, it is Babel update time. Oh my gosh, this is already top tier. This is so good. It is hitting all my expectations. When I first picked this up, I was worried that I had set too high expectations for it based on my enjoyment of the Poppy War. But honestly, I am, hang on, what page am I up to? I'm 69 pages in and it is not disappointing me. Oh, it's so good. The descriptions of the settings, unlike any kind of description I've read before, the approach that R.F. Kuang is taking to describing these settings and describing the atmosphere of these settings is really making the atmosphere of this book feel incredibly immersive and just somewhere I want to be. So many good things. I really enjoy the characters at the moment. We're meeting a couple more characters where I am at the book at the moment, and they're really interesting to read about and see how our main character fits into this new life that they've been thrown into. Just so much about it I'm really enjoying, specifically loving the descriptions of Oxford at the moment, which are getting more frequent at the moment as we see that setting be more involved in the book. It's not disappointing me at all at the moment. It's so good, it's top tier already. I'm predicting a potential 5-star read for this. I'm really hoping, obviously as one of my most highly anticipated releases of the year anyway, I'm kind of hoping this will be 5 stars, but now I've actually started it, and whilst I'm not even past the 100 page mark, and I acknowledge that hell of a lot can change, I'm just getting that kind of vibe about it. It's so good, I'm really enjoying it, and I cannot wait to read more. I very much acknowledge I'm living in these dungarees this week, and that's fine. They're perfect for this kind of weather, but also having this pocket here, it fits books, it fits Kindles, it fits phones, it fits everything. I mean, it doesn't fit this book because this is like way too big for the pocket, but it's very handy. I enjoy having a pocket right in front of me. Anyway, yes, living in these, enjoying this book, gonna crack on with my day now. Good morning, I come bearing a reading update. This morning I finished my audiobook for The Psalm for the Wild-Built and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. I don't have any big grand opinions on this one, but I did enjoy it. It was a sweet, wholesome kind of story that felt very reflective and had some nice moral messages to it as well. This one ticked off the academia prompt and also host fave prompt for Whateverthon. It was a host fave for Maddie from Book Browsing Blog, so I have now only got one book left to read until I complete my first bingo board, like the whole board, so I'm very excited about that. That final book is going to be the second book in the Wind graphic novel series. I loved the first book. I read the first one earlier this month or last month? I don't know. I read the first one recently and it was really good fun and I really enjoyed it, so I'm really excited to read this one. And then I am done with my first bingo board, woohoo! I am now audiobookless, so I need to pick a new audiobook to read as well, so I will have a look what I can encompass into the next set of prompts, because I don't think I tactically did this bingo board very well this time round. I could have read less books and ticked off more prompts with less books, but instead I read quite a few books. I think it's taken me like 9 books to tick off all of these prompts, so I need to do a little bit better next bingo board. My mum, Ava, and I are now heading off to Bath. It's Ava's 10th birthday on Monday. I can't believe she's gonna be 10 double digits. So we're taking her to Bath today to go out shopping to have a little treat day. So I'm gonna head off there now and I will take you along with me. you something very important that she just did.
I got my ears pierced.
She just got her ears pierced for her birthday. You liking them?
I nearly fainted.
She did, but you look great. They're very pretty, and we just bought some more earrings as well. Yeah. My tired brain is fully taking over right now because the amount of times I have tried to wrap up this vlog and my brain just isn't actually producing words properly, so I'm gonna give it a final shot. It is quite late at night. I've got back to my flat. I am out all day tomorrow. I really probably should be in bed by now, or at least ready for bed by now, and I'm not any of those things, so I'm gonna wrap up this vlog here. I am doing a special reading vlog tomorrow that features more of me reading Babel because I haven't read any today because I've been out all day in Bath with my mum and Ava, which was such a nice day. Haven't read any more of my book, and I didn't read too much yesterday, so I think the latter part of this week I haven't had as many Babel updates, but there will be a dedicated vlog coming that I'm filming tomorrow, which is why I'm out all day for Babel, so I'm very excited about that. It may or may not have something to do with Oxford. What could it be? So that's coming at some point soon. I don't know what my schedule's looking like at the moment. It's not the time of day for me to be thinking about that, but that's coming soon. I did buy a book today and I wanted to show you what I got. So I picked up Ruth Ozeki's The Book of Form and Emptiness from Toppings. This is the winner of the Women's Prize for Fiction 2022. This is also a signed first edition in hardback, which I did not expect to come across in Toppings today. I went in looking for this book. Didn't expect it to be a signed edition, so this is really cool. This is definitely a bonus. This book sounds very interesting. If you haven't heard about this one yet, I would definitely advise looking into it because the whole premise just sounds absolutely fascinating, but I was gonna say like do my best to summarize the blurb. I don't know if summarizing the blurb is gonna work for my brain, so I will read you the blurb and then I will go get ready for bed. It's gonna happen. It's happening very soon. Okay. Wish me luck. This could be a strenuous attempt at trying to read a blurb. 1 year after the death of his beloved musician father, 13-year-old Benny O begins to hear voices. The voices belong to the things in his house: a sneaker, a broken Christmas ornament, a piece of wilted lettuce. Although Benny doesn't understand what these things are saying, he can sense their emotional tone. Some are pleasant, a gentle hum or coo, but others are snide, angry, and full of pain. When his mother develops a hoarding problem, the voice grows more clamorous. At first, Benny tries to ignore them, but soon the voices follow him outside the house, onto the street, and at school, driving him at last to seek refuge in the silence of a large public library, where objects are well behaved and know to speak in whispers. There, Benny discovers a strange new world where things happen. He falls in love with a mesmerising street artist with a smug pet ferret who uses the library as her performance space. He meets a homeless philosopher poet who encourages him to ask important questions and find his own voice among the many. And he meets his very own book, a talking thing who narrates Benny's life and teaches him to listen to the things that truly matter. The bottom of the blurb says it's a book that blends unforgettable characters, riveting plot, and vibrant engagement with everything from jazz to climate change to our attachment to material possessions. This is a classic Ruth Ozeki, bold, humane, and heartbreaking. I think it sounds fabulously unique, and I'm very excited about this one. So I'm really glad that I was able to pick this up today. And this is the only book I bought. I actually somehow managed to show some form of restraint. I'm also going to show some form of restraint now and actually go and get ready for bed. So I'm going to do that now. Thank you so much for watching this vlog. If you have enjoyed, please do give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you have been reading this week and subscribe to see more of my face on your feed. If you'd like notifications of when I post, you can hit the little bell icon and that'll do that. I also have a link down below to my Patreon where I post lots of extra content, including dedicated reading vlogs, live shows, Patreon podcasts, lots of different things. It's all linked down below, as is my shop where I sell digital Lightroom presets and Instagram story highlights. I did the outro. Thank you so much for watching. Keep smiling and stay positive.